Good day, I'm Bluesuit, and today we'll be going over my review of the hardcore, story-driven, western, stealth-based, isometric, real-time, tactical action-adventure game known as Desperados III. In Desperados III, you command a ragtag group of 5 cowgirls and cowboys as they murder and steal through an old Wild West revenge story. The story itself is pretty mediocre. John Cooper, the quintessential cowboy and main character of Desperados III, seeks revenge for the slaying of his father. The story doesn't ever really get any more complicated than that, but combined with the fact that this is a prequel to Desperados 1 and 2, players who are new to this series don't need to play the previous games to enjoy what's going on. Even though the story isn't much, the actual characters themselves have very well written dialogue, artwork, and top-notch voice acting. On top of that, they all play very uniquely, and there's far more depth between the characters' playstyles than what it first seems on the surface. Beyond the vast array of skills that you'll have access to, characters also have different run speeds or interactions with the environment. It was great when I found out that my favorite character, strongman Hector Mendoza, can carry 2 dead bodies at once and use them as weapons to knock out enemy threats. Also among the roster are the Dr. Arthur McCoy, the Southern Belle Kate O'Hara, and the Voodoo Mistress Isabel Moreau. Each character is remarkably unique in both ability and style, and each offers the player countless different ways to approach and deal with the game's combat scenarios. For example, Kate O'Hara only has 1 kill ability because most of her kit evolves around controlling and distracting enemies. John, on the other hand, can kill with every single ability he has, including the coin toss. Where the combat excels is in how these various characters work together. Using Kate's seductive powers to lure a dopey gunman in front of a bull, and then John's coin toss to scare the bull into goring said gunman to death is both highly satisfying and hilarious, but also makes the game super addicting because it always had me looking for more creative ways to dispatch my foes. There's also a mode called Showdown Mode that allows you to pause time and set up coordinated attacks with your team. You queue up whatever actions you want your members to take, then when you press enter, all of the actions are performed at once, allowing for some really deadly plans. The most impressive part of Desperados III is without a doubt the level design. These maps are massive, and even though there are usually only a couple dozen enemies, expect each one to take 1 to 2 hours to complete. Every enemy, every interactable, every hiding spot has been carefully placed. Each conflict has multiple solutions, from the guns blazing to falling rocks, but there will be many times where you're just left scratching your head. The developers at Mimimi Games have to be geniuses to come up with some of these layouts. Every guard has another guy watching him, groups of enemies are connected by patrols and snipers. Especially in the latter half of the game, it seems like it's impossible to get in and kill everyone undetected. But the fact that you can do it, and that there are probably 10 different ways you can do it, really speaks to the level of thought and detail that was put into making these levels. Every single one was impressive and never felt reused or recycled. Desperados III doesn't punish players for save scumming. In fact, it really embraces it. There are even warnings for when you've gone too long without saving. In most games, it would definitely ruin the fun by removing all the risk, but I wasn't bothered by it too much here because it's almost more of a puzzle game than anything. Additionally, since each level already takes over an hour, it's probably best if you save scum until you're absolutely sure you know what you're doing. The only area where Desperados III falls short is in its replayability. There are 16 missions in the game spanning Denver, New Orleans, El Paso, and while it will take most players 25 to 30 hours to complete the campaign, the only reason to continue is to keep playing the same levels to complete the game's various challenges, called badges. The one major thing to note here is a character named the Baron. Partway through the game's story, the Baron will contact you about replaying certain missions with a twist. Each one is different, but usually involves playing with a different cast and some sort of handicap. Right now, only 5 of the 16 missions have Baron's challenges, but Mimimi Games does plan to add them for every major mission in the game as free updates. The challenges are fun and provide a way to keep enjoying the game for players whose addiction has outlasted the story. However, they're only for bragging rights, so don't expect any unlockable content here. Right now you can pick up Desperados 3 for $50 on Steam, PS4, and Xbox One. And while I personally really enjoyed it, it's not going to be worth that to most players. As I said, it does have about 25 to 30 hours of content, but it is really good content, and probably the single best title in the genre. So I'm valuing Desperados 3 right at an even $40. If you're a fan of stealth or tactical games, I would highly recommend that you check this one out. I hope that you enjoyed this review of Desperados 3. Come see me on Twitch where you can watch our reviews in progress 5 nights a week. As always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments what you thought about it. Until next time, peace!